Do you take dental insurance? If you do, this video is for you. Most dentists that take dental insurance don't enjoy it unless they don't do any dentistry and they have a lot of people working for them that they're paying a very small percentage to produce. The insurance model is a flawed model that was developed back in the 70s by the automobile companies in Detroit. They gave everybody $1,000 worth of benefit for dental care. They call it an insurance plan. But there's really no such thing as dental insurance. It's a dental aid. And today, about, what's that, 1972? About 50 years later, the average dental benefit is the same, $1,000. $1,000 in 1972 was about $6,000 today. So basically, the dental insurance has put a strangle and a chokehold on the profitability of dental practices and eliminated very good quality care. Because if someone is only going to work with the dental insurance company, that's someone being a patient, they're only going to do what the dental insurance company provides. And the dental insurance companies are not our friend. They're there for a reason. They're there to make money. How they make money is they encourage patients to look at their benefits and do a pre-treatment estimate before they go through treatment. When a pre-treatment estimate says they're only going to cover 10% or 15% or 20%, the patient won't do the treatment that they need. So what that ends up is creating a flawed system where the system has to be gamed for the dentist to become profitable. I'll explain that in 1 second. Let's first do the math. Let's say your fee is $100 and your overhead is $60. What's your profit? $40. Let's say your fee is $100, but you take dental insurance, but they only pay 80%. So you're only making $80, but your overhead is still $60. So now your profit is $20. So you go from $40 in a fee-for-service practice to $20 in insurance practice. You've decreased your productivity, basically your profitability, by $20. So what do insurance-based practices do to make up for that? They either have to do more procedures, they have to bundle their procedures, they have to see more patients per hour. They can't do comprehensive treatment because the insurance company is only going to pay $1,000. They only pay for half of a crown. So they're going to do a half a crown a year instead of doing things comprehensively. They're not going to pay completely for scaling and root planing. They're not going to pay for us to talk with the patients. About 50% of the time I spend in my practice is in consultations and talking with patients, which I do not get reimbursed for. So how can I spend 50% of my time doing consultations and not getting reimbursed? Because when I'm doing procedures, I'm getting reimbursed at the full fee. And actually, patients are paying me the full fee before I do the procedure. In our practice, patients pay 3 weeks in advance to secure their appointments with us. So how can we do that? In a fee-for-service practice. In 1985, I opened up my practice in downtown Fairfield. I was the 6th periodontist in town with 65,000 people. Everybody says don't open up in town. It's a mistake, but it was my hometown and I wanted to be there. And somebody gave me the advice, say, figure out where you want to be and practice in that area and everything will take care of itself. Well, I wasn't busy right away because I never took insurance. I was by myself where everybody else was taking insurance and I wouldn't take it. It took about 5 years to become very profitable. And in that period of time, I slowly built up the practice. And today, 42 years later, I have a fee-for-service practice that is booked 3 to 4 months in advance with 2 other periodontists in the practice and 5 hygienists. And we don't take insurance. We file the insurance for the patient as a courtesy, but we don't take it. Because when we take insurance, we reduce the value of our services. If our services are only worth what the insurance company would pay, they're not going to be worth very much. So if you're taking dental insurance in your practice, you are struggling. And I don't say this to be mean, and I'm not looking down at people who do, because there is a financial imperative for us to take it. A lot of doctors say, if I didn't take dental insurance, my chair wouldn't be filled. I wouldn't be able to fill my chair. But what happens, and here's the irony, by filling your chair with insurance-based patients, you're encouraging other insurance-based patients to refer to you, and then you are stuck into that practice. I know so many doctors that want to get off that insurance window. And I've talked to a young dentist that recently purchased an insurance-based practice, and my advice to that person was, take the insurance for 1 year, develop a relationship with the patients, give away consultations for the patient because they're not being charged. Take full mouth series of radiographs. Don't charge them for that. Spend a half hour with every new patient because they weren't spent that way before. And guess what will happen? You end up becoming very busy because people will start to value you. And that young person that I know tripled the practice in 6 months. In 6 months, they tripled the practice that was an insurance-based practice. And they still take insurance, but the out-of-pocket stuff is paid by the patient. And in about a year or two, they'll end up slowly transitioning from insurance. If you're going to get out of the insurance business and go to a fee-for-service practice, you have to do it over a period of time. You have to develop a strategy. You have to be there for your insurance-based patients. You have to slowly tell the patients, we're doing this because it's in your best interest. And what I would recommend you do is you role play. You get a couple of team members together, one acts like the disgruntled patient. Go, how come I've been coming here for years and I'm never taking dental insurance, and now you're going blah, 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 blah. And then you say, well, we've done that for a long time, but it really felt that it really didn't work out well for our patients. So I think it's in the interest of the practice that we're able to provide better quality care for better equipment, have all the digital materials, so we can take better care of you. And guess what? People usually listen to reason. Because everybody wants something for free. Everybody wants to game something like that. But you never go into the bakery and say, hey, I'm not going to pay $1 for a bagel, or $2 for a bagel, or $3 for a bagel. You don't fight with them. You don't go into Nordstrom's and say, can I get 15% off on those shoes? So when a patient says, I got to see if my insurance will pay for that, I turn to them and go, what did your insurance pay for those shoes? What did your insurance pay for dinner last night? What did they pay for your trip to Hawaii? What did they pay for your car? The insurance doesn't pay for anything out there. And this is the doctor's fault. I will tell you that. It's the doctor's fault that we created a system where we're reliant on insurance. I remember when I first went into practice back in the mid-80s, and all the physicians were making a lot of money because they were based upon insurance. If you look at the model of being a physician, what it's like today, it's not a really good model. They're insurance-based, they're burning out, and 50% of all physicians wish they never went into practice before. Why? Because they work for other people. We in dentistry can be autonomous, we have our own little businesses, and we can do whatever we want. If you want to be an insurance-based practice and be on a treadmill, you can do that. If you want to be a fee-for-service, you can do that. If you want to work for an organization, you can do that. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you can do that. It's all up to you. And I think it's the greatest time in the world to be a dentist and healthcare provider. I love what I do. I love what I do because I get to be autonomous and I get to do it the way that I would like to do it, which turns out the way most patients want to be. What does that mean? Patients want to be seen and heard and valued. They want to be respected. They want to be cared for. They want you to be there for them. Hard to do that when you're on a treadmill, seeing what the insurance is going to cover. Tough conversation today. I hope some of you feel free to reach out to me at any time. You can either call me or email me. All my contact information is here online. Love to talk to you about this topic. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about, even though it's a hard topic. Be the gift to your patients. Drop insurance and be there for them.